What's up, y'all? This is John and Sequoia, hold of the Agape Music Group.
Yeah, and we rock with Marcus, Lady Dreamer, and the Culture for Christ segment on WOKB Radio Orlando.
Central Florida's only radio station for Christian hip hop and new gospel music.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Ernie, Malcolm, Rock.
Can't stop, yeah.
Won't stop.
I been going in without the brakes on them, been down like 4 flat tires on the coupe. The way I run it got everybody looking at me like Usain Bolt when I finish the race. Good and faithful, serving all of my face. I've been pushing place, you see the sweat on my face. I've been running relays, trying to keep up with the grades. Watch me crack open the sense. They gon' hear me coming and get to running, I promise. And every day the music I make, it gotta be honest. Giving them the freedom I live in, I couldn't hide it. Walking this wood when I'm bringing that fire. I can't stop, won't stop till the beat drop. Game all like spit truth for the whole flock. You flip flop like chunk like that's why I stand firm in my Balenciaga. Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop.
Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Fernie.
Can't stop.
I came to make one thing clear, I'm here to take us up higher like Lear. This make or break. If I stop now, I die here. Me, I can't. Too much at stake. This is my year. I will never stop. Gotta keep it moving. I steer past anything getting in my way. Rap game has lanes. I consider a highway. Life too cold. Check the flows in the ice tray. Got too good. Heart warm. Made a life change. Not really up. What's really good? Life's great. Now we make up dance on the facts. No man say. Never no cap in my rap for the man say. I just get my life. God die for my means everything for me more than dollar sign. DJ Jimmy Rock hit me to lace this and I replied. How could I not bring the vibes before the drop?
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop.
Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Won't stop. Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can't stop. Won't stop. It is the day that the Lord has made. And we're going to rejoice and be glad. And Brother Marcus is going to unmute his mic because this is Culture for Christ Radio right here on Inspiration 1680, 100.7 FM. What's up, Brother Marcus?
It is Culture for Christ Day. It definitely is. And I know those people are like, what in the world
Is that?
going on?
Yeah.
Hey,
But
listen,
it was good. Won't stop.
it was
Can't
good.
stop.
Won't stop. Can't stop praising God. That's what that's all about. That is DJ Jimmy Rock. And he has, and that's actually a remix of a song that he did called Won't Stop. And it's, listen, let me tell you something. The reason why I wanted to play that song is to show everybody that the gospel is not limited to what we put into a box.
I agree.
Hints. Guess what I did not know, Lady Trina?
What didn't you know, sir?
I didn't know that Kiki Sheard and Jacqueline Carr actually hosted the Stellar Award.
How didn't you know that? That was broadcast everywhere.
I wasn't paying attention. I really
Lord
wasn't paying
have
attention.
mercy.
And the reason I wasn't paying attention to it is because I wasn't really interested. I haven't been interested, unfortunately, in the Stellar Awards for a minute. And
Understood.
it's because of just, some of the things that we talked about on the show yesterday.
Right.
But once I saw the highlights and everything, and I'm just sitting down Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
And the feed is just going. My
Listen,
messages are going. My Facebook is just, are
I'm
you
talking
watching? Are
about
you
the
watching? Are
Steelers
you watching?
it was the hottest topic and still is right now.
Said it
The
was
hottest
dynamite.
topic. Yeah. And what I love is Jacqueline actually hosted last year with Ty. It was Ty and
Okay.
Jacqueline last year,
Okay.
which I personally said that Jacqueline should have hosted last year by herself. And I'm gonna say it.
Is that good?
She was that great, not
Okay.
good.
Oh,
She
okay.
was
Great.
that great.
Okay.
Her look was great. The way she presented herself on stage was great. Her talk was great. She did her thing. You understand? So I could really understand why they brought her back. I didn't understand why Kiera got, on with her. But I'm just saying what I said. Okay. But I seen a couple clips and I heard some good stuff, and they said they worked well together. And so that's all I have to say about it.
I love Kiera Kiki Sheard. I absolutely love that girl. I love Jacqueline. And I think that it was an awesome combo. And I agree with you. The way that they actually showed a side that their generation is
Yes.
actually moving towards,
Yes.
which we have got to like. It is, and what is more phenomenal about this than anything else, Drina, is that the two hosts of the Stellar Awards are two Church of God in Christ girls.
Come on. Come on, Kojic.
I was like, wait a minute. That's historic.
That
That
is
is
awesome. Both
historic.
Kojic. And the other thing is, Jacqueline is more of the new school traditional. I would say she's more new school traditional, and Kiera is new school.
She is
you get
now.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Now
she is now.
she's changed a lot, so that's kind of she changed. Kiera changed a lot.
Now I'm gonna tell you, Kiera was ahead of her time.
Yes,
she was definitely implementing things that were not normally heard through her generation in music on the singing side.
right.
I went to a concert. It had to be like 2014, 15, maybe, in Tampa, and she was there at God rest his soul, at Bishop Williams Church. I believe that's where I was.
Okay.
And she was trying to implement some of her new stuff, but the people wanted to put her in this box and wanted her. She was like, y'all want me to stay in this place. So she was like, I'm gonna sing this because y'all ain't ready. Because she was presenting stuff from her new album, but people were still on that
on the past album,
the worship album that she had put out.
Yeah.
Because that worship album was
I can't talk because I'm really still stuck on that worship album. It was one of my favorites.
Fire.
It was
fire.
It was fire. It was one of my absolute favorite. And during my personal worship, I still play some of those songs. I do like the originality that she has now. She's, not really. She's learned how to make her own name, because everybody wanted to keep her in the box with her mom and different things. She wanted to, and her aunts and stuff, and she wanted to make her own name, and that's what I believe she's done and is continuing to do.
And sometimes it's hard to do that. It's hard to break
away. Hard to break free. Yeah, it's hard to break free from that,
especially when you're in the shadow of such a profound and great family.
Legends. You got a legendary family, man.
In the secular world, I was actually watching the Janet Jackson documentary when she was actually saying the same thing. That's like, people don't understand the pressure that was put on her to make a
Yeah,
name for
to
herself,
make
to
that
come up
name.
off from
Mhm.
under that Jackson name. Like
Yeah,
you have so much to live up to, right? And then
yeah,
you have to make a name for yourself at the same time.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, speaking of the Stellar Awards, we were talking yesterday about some comments that were made, particularly by Ernest Pugh. And then he did come back on the Larry Reed live show yesterday evening and
Yes, he
kind of
did.
tried to
He,
smooth
he tried
over
to
what he said.
explain what he wrote. And this is the thing I want to tell everyone that takes to social media and write your paragraphs, write your statements and all of this. A lot of times what you write don't translate into what you would say.
Right.
And it,
Absolutely.
it does not. And
Absolutely.
so you will write a check that you can't cash. That's
my, my.
and
My.
so you got to be so very careful what you write out. Because if you would have thought about it before you wrote it and then write after thinking, maybe you wouldn't have to explain what you said because you would have already said what you really meant.
And you know what, Drina, I actually think that he did think about it. That's why the
He
statement was
probably
so
did.
long. He did.
I'm
It
trying to
was
give him the benefit
seething.
of the doubt
You
because I
giving him,
love him.
you helping him out. You
Thank
helping him
you.
out.
Let me
But
help him.
I'm gonna let you help him because
Okay.
I don't want people to think that I do not like Ernest Pugh, because I
Right.
think that Ernest Pugh is a great artist. He's a great writer, and he's a great singer. Now, what I want to say is that the Stellar Awards was awesome because Christian hip hop showed up
They
and
did.
urban contemporary gospel showed up in droves, and the people loved it. It is very hypocritical, and I'm going to say this because it needs to be said. It's very hypocritical to say that our brothers and sisters in Christ who represent the gospel from a different side of the ministry, that traditional gospel music is the only answer. And that because they are from hip hop, Christian hip hop, and contemporary and urban gospel, that the gospel is not under them. The gospel is the good news. So if it's delivered in a letter, if it's delivered in the apostolic letters, because the Bible is full of apostolic letters, New Testament, Old Testament, all of these, the Old Testament and New Testament were written by men. Those were letters, those were books. That's the gospel, right?
Yes.
The Bible, if it's a poem, if it's a spoken word, if it's singing or rapping, if it's spreading the good news, which is the gospel of Jesus Christ, then that is the gospel. So to say that because it was a show geared towards Christian hip hop or urban contemporary and the gospel was not a part of it is extremely hypocritical. And you do not have the mind of Christ to say that that is what it is, because the Bible says that the gospel is go to the highways and the byways and the hedges and compel them to come. And the word delivered is compelling. And that's how I feel about it.
Okay. That was good. I love it. I love it. I have nothing to say, but I love that. And you know what? This is how I feel. I believe that I believe that we just need to know how to include all of the different facets of the music not not separate or segregate our music.
Yeah.
I don't have another way to say it. I think there is a place for every genre. There is a place, and sometimes we go so hard with one that we make others feel left out. So let me just go back and let's hit this point. Um, I'm kind of shocked and surprised at how hard Ernest Pugh is going at this now, because when the Stellas was in more favorable for his genre of music, nobody spoke out for the quartets.
Said nothing.
Nobody spoke out for the choirs.
Said nothing.
Okay. Nobody spoke out for the gospel rap hip hop artists.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So why is it now that they're going all in for maybe the hip hop or the younger generation? It's such a uproar. It should have been an uproar then when you saw them excluding all of the other ones.
It should have, and I certainly agree with you because we have watched this play out. We have watched them push gospel hip hop aside.
Yeah.
We have shown them blatantly disregard the urban and contemporary gospel for over 2 decades.
Yeah.
Like how never ever nominated for anything unless it was a feature or a collaboration with what they call the gospel. So
Right.
it's a slap in the face to
Yeah.
say it's not gospel, and it was all just for a show because it made the claim that it was all just for a show. Now I have to push back on that because when someone performs on the Stellar Awards, or if we go to a concert, or if we're at church, at the end of church, we walk off and we talk to that person, whoever sung, what is one thing that we say to them? You
Mm-hmm.
showed
Mm-hmm.
out.
Out. Mm-hmm.
Take off the ED from show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Show.
Mm-hmm.
Stellar Awards is a show.
It's a production.
It is a production. We're
It's
not
a
going there to
production.
jump and shout and
Yeah,
hook them
it's a
aside.
production.
It's
It's
production.
production. Yeah.
When you're sitting in the audience, they first take shots. They say, everybody clap your hands.
Right.
They take these shots first and then they edit. They say, everybody's yay, yay, clap, smile.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Things. And then in editing, they put those claps and yays and all these kind of things in the midst of the show.
That's
so
right.
You see the production, you think those people are clapping. Those people have already clapped.
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
They've yelled in the beginning. They've clapped in the beginning.
All of that.
All of that. Yes.
All of that is taking place.
Yeah.
My sister is watching from South Florida. And she reminded me there is a scripture in the Sunday school lesson. We used to do responsive reading. And one of the responsive reading, it says, there's a scripture, and I can't remember where it was, but where it comes from. But it says, and other sheep that I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. Other sheep that I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. So the gospel has to be appropriate to where it's going. Bible says that my word will go out and it shall not return unto me void.
Yes.
If I write a letter, if I sing it in a song, if I do spoken word, if I rap it, if I sing it, it's still the gospel.
Right. Right.
Still the gospel.
Right. Right. Hey.
So they really killed it. So, what do we say? Let me tell you something. When we brought Canton Jones about 2 years ago, I honored Canton Jones at the Eddie Awards.
Joe. All right.
Hey Joe at the Eddie Awards.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a pleasure and a privilege. I think that he is a catalyst for Christian hip hop. He is one of the ones who he may not be the godfather or the progenitor of Christian hip hop.
He was absolutely a door opener.
Yes,
yeah,
he definitely kicked the doors open.
Yes, he did. Yes,
I have to say this. When Canton Jones came to the Eddie Awards 2 years ago and we did a concert, they kind of pushed us all the way to the back, all the way to the side, right? This man, so in that concert, there were probably about maybe 50 people at the most that actually ended up staying because we started late and everybody had did their show and everything, all the choirs and the singers and stuff, and they had left. And so we just had this small group of Christian hip hop, people who love gospel hip hop, Christian hip hop. When I tell you that Canton Jones ministry was absolutely not a performance.
Oh, trust me, I've seen him perform several times.
It wasn't a performance.
It's not a performance. No.
It was absolutely
hard.
Ministry. He goes hard.
Yes, he does.
Prophecy came in the midst of that.
He will lay hands. He will pray. Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Those artists were on the floor crying. They were speaking in tongues. It was not anything that I've ever seen before in my life. And I was like, wait a minute, wait. If you've never gone to a Christian hip hop concert with Kjo, and you walked out of there and the Holy Ghost wasn't deposited, didn't deposit something into you, and he didn't speak prophetically into your life through Kjo. Oh my God.
And this is the thing. If you take the time out to listen to the lyrics of Kjo's music, all of the lyrics is Bible based. All of his lyrics, they are straight out of the Bible, and he just raps them. It's really Bible based, and he makes it more layman term for those who can't understand the Bible. He makes it more layman terms to them, and I love Kjo. I had the pleasure of co-hosting a program in Atlanta, and he was one of the artists that was represented. His son and his wife both are artists as well. And man, that show was not a typical hip hop show at all in Atlanta. So I want to give a shout out to Jay Williams. That was not this year, that was last year. It was just amazing. It was
Absolutely. I agree with you. I like Sky Blue. That is the artist name for Kjo's son. He goes.
That's it. Thank you. I couldn't think of it, but he's an amazing young man.
He's grown up. I did an interview with him during the pandemic, and we were coming out of the pandemic, and Kjo was getting him acclimated, and we did an interview with him on live, and it was funny because he was a typical 12-year-old kid at the time. We asked him a question, and it's like, yes, no.
Right. He was strict.
I said, you really want to get I was like, you really ready to get off this interview and go back to playing that video game, right? He was like, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But
and Kjo also told me that a lot of his tracks that he did, it was his wife doing the background.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I was like, that is so awesome.
Now,
He's such a family oriented man.
He's a pastor, he's a husband, he's a father. Let me give you another thing on Kjo. You know, Kjo grew up, his father was a quartet singer, and Kjo used to sing quartet growing up.
And he still loves
quartet. He still loves it.
Yes, he does.
I'm telling you, my brother Terrence Johnson, he's one of our rappers out of Ocala. He was this was smooth. That brother's so smooth. That's my little brother right there. It was that concert. I'm telling you, the fire of God fell in that place in that concert. The fire. And he prophesied to me. And he told me something, and I remember it because it's coming back to me. And anytime God prophesies, when someone prophesies to you through, when God gives you a word through a human, we always have an interpretation or a thought process in our mind about how it's supposed to go. Our thoughts are not his thoughts. Our ways are not his ways.
That's right.
And the way that he does things, it takes us around a different turn, and we don't understand it until we get there. I'm at a place where I remember that word that he spoke, and now I'm understanding why he spoke it to me. So I'm gonna move in it. I'm moving in it.
And you know why you can remember? Because God's word will never return void.
It never does.
It never does. Even if it don't happen immediately, it's still going to happen, because that's just our God.
It is. Listen, y'all. Drina, can you, before we go to that next song and we take this break and we come back, because we got some more stuff to talk about. But let me just say this to you all, ladies and gentlemen, that you are listening. Gospel is not a sound. Gospel is not a sound. The sound of gospel, as we declare it today, is a man-made construct in which people categorize what gospel music should sound like. How can you box God and package him up? You can't box up God. God is God. He said, the heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. So how can we, who God created us, how can we put God into a box and declare this is the gospel? And this is how gospel sounds. If the good news is attached to it, then it's gospel. It's gospel. It's gospel.
Well, I want to say
not a
one thing
microorganism.
about that. Let me just say one thing. I agree exactly what you're saying, but there is one thing different that I want to add is yes, gospel has a fragrance and an anointing to it as well. You understand? It may
Absolutely.
not be in the same genres or facets, but when I hear gospel, regardless if it's hip hop, quartet, whatever it is, there should be the same feeling I get from a old school I need you, I need the Lord now, I should get in that as well. So the motive, the heart posture of that song still should have the fragrance of God on it. So I want to make sure that's clear because I been out here and I see some of these artists and me and you talked about it, Marcus. I see some of these hip hop artists that I can't tell the difference between. I see some quartet artists I can't tell the difference between. So whenever you're an artist and you're doing the music of God and the will of God, make sure you are in his will and his fragrance is there. Make sure God greets and meets you in that music. That's all I need to add. I have to add
100%. And what will happen is if you are in the presence of God, what you are ingesting is God, then what's going to come out of you is God.
Exactly. Thank you. That's it. That's what I need to hear.
Consecration. Somebody just put in there consecration. Somebody responded to your comment, the heart posture.
Yes.
And somebody else responded, said, beautiful are the feet that spread the gospel.
Yes.
Hey, listen. Hey, this next song that's coming up is a good friend of Drina's. And she's starting to become a good friend of mine. Her name is Robin McGee. Y'all, ladies and gentlemen, this is Nobody.
I love Robin. I love you, Robin.
I've been on this road for some time now, and I've had my share of ups and downs. But on this road, I haven't got touched because I've come way too far to turn back now. Nobody said it would be easy. Oh, I just don't believe it, no. Oh, yeah. You came along and made me whole. I haven't been the same. Matter of fact, my life's been rearranged since you changed my name. I don't even think the same, and it's because of you, Jesus, that I will never go back that way. Oh, nobody said it. No. Hey, because you've been walking with me on this serious journey, and I don't believe it. You see, every now and then, the devil tries to steal my praise, but I'm letting him know I'm coming out with my hands upraised. He sometimes tries to steal my joy, and he sometimes tries to steal my peace, but I'm leaning on the Lord, because he will strengthen me. So will I give up? No, will I give in? I'm holding on. Faith is strong. Will I give up? No, will I give in? I'm holding on. My faith is strong. Wait a minute, let me testify about this man in my life. See, he came along and he rescued me and put me on the path of righteousness. Now every day ain't a struggle, but I can't say it won't get hard sometime. But nothing you can say I do will make me change my mind. No, nobody said that the road would be easy. No. Hey, 'cause he's been walking No, 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 nobody said come with me either. He's been walking with me on this tedious journey, and I just don't believe that he brought me this far to learn.
What's up, y'all? This is John and Sequoia Howard of the Agape Music Group.
Yeah, and we rock with Marcus, Lady Dreamer, and the Culture for Christ segment on WOKB.
bottles up and down like say tomorrow not there. Anybody tell somebody that Jesus is coming soon. So I pray for you that you will see the light where I didn't see for you. Yeah. So I pray for you that you will see the light where I didn't see for you. Yeah. This world gon' fade away. The light is on its way. This world gon' fade away. The light is on its way. This world gon' fade away. The light is on its way. This world gon' fade away. Hold up now, let me finish. Let me take that one sip. Let me do the lesson. Oh, His grace is unending, mercy's unfailing. So from the bucket, me I keep on bailing. Don't be deceived, brother. Like a thief, it will come in the night, brother. Take those that are right. You better look upright, so clean in your white. So I pray for you. Yeah. Everybody, just a party. Popping bottles up and down like said tomorrow not there. Anybody tell somebody that Jesus is coming soon. So I pray for you that you will see the light where I didn't see for you. Yeah. So I pray for you that you will see the light where I didn't see for you. Yeah. This world gon' fade away. The light is on its way. This world gon' fade away. The light is on its way. This world gon' fade away. The light is on its way. This world gon' fade away.
All right, God bless
So I pray for you that you will see the light where I didn't see for you. Yeah. So I pray for you that you will see the light where I didn't see for you. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Danny Parker. Met Danny about 2 years ago during the pandemic. We used to interview him a lot, and he is from Gambia, the Gambia, not Gambia, but the Gambia, South Africa. The Golden Coast is what they call it, the Gold Coast in Gambia, South Africa. And Danny told me that in Africa, in his portion of Africa, they make music, they produce albums, and it's good production, but they don't get paid for their concerts.
Oh, wow. They don't get paid for their concerts?
They do not get paid.
So how do they receive money to buy their
They
merchandise?
work. They work jobs. They work, and singing and music is a hobby. So it's
Okay.
not something that they do for a living. They actually work.
So that's
And
just fun.
yeah, and he
Wow.
has a whole album out and continues. And he's only like 20.
Oh,
Because at the
wow.
time when I interviewed him, he was 18 when we first met him. So it's like 8 o'clock here in the States, right? And he's getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do the interview with us.
Oh.
He's like, I'm so tired, man. I'm so tired. It's like,
Yeah, I
man,
know. I must believe that time difference is crazy.
oh my God. Oh my God. No, they don't get paid. They make the question is, do they get paid for the album? The answer to your question is no. His
Wow.
brother is actually a producer, so fortunately for him, he doesn't have to pay for studio time or anything like that. He just goes in.
Oh, so that is a fortunate situation.
That is a fortunate. For other people who don't have that luxury, it's
so they're
different.
spending out a lot of money.
Yeah, they're spending out a lot of money. And
Well, are they able, like, to sell their products and
oh yeah,
things
if
like
they
that? So
he's all
they can
over.
kind of make it up for that.
Yeah, because he's on all of the platforms. He's on all of the musical platforms. His videos and music are on YouTube, Apple, and different other streaming sources. So he does get income there. But
Okay.
like in the country, in Gambia, in the Gambia where he is, it's like he's like, no, we don't get paid, and they don't think anything of it.
Well, that's
like,
awesome.
In America is totally different.
It's completely different. Not
you
totally,
ask somebody to come and sing who
different.
don't even have a record, and they want $300.
They want more than that. I do.
Got no workout.
Listen, I am presently getting ready to host my 10th radio anniversary, and when I tell you it is not free, it is not free. These artists are not coming for free.
No, they're
not. Trust me, it's the love. It's the love for what I do, why I keep doing it. It's the love for what I do that I keep doing. It's the love.
And I don't
do.
disagree with that either.
The love.
I believe
it's
that
the love.
I believe that is
because it's not a lot of money in it. I've been doing these programs as a promoter here, and it's been a lot out of my own pocket. Minimum sponsors to none, minimum support to none. It's hard to get people to share your flyers, hard to get them to make a video for the program they're booked on. They won't even promote it. You can pay them their deposit. You can pay them all their money. You can give them their accommodations. You can do whatever you want for these people, and they won't even help you promote the event that they're coming in on. And then a lot of them not even known in the area.
So they need to promote.
So they need to help promote.
So
because
we can know who you are.
Won't nobody know you. Literally, I've had just talking about the program I have coming up. I've had so many calls saying, who is this artist? Who is that artist? Who are they? Who are they? And my heart is for the artists that no one knows.
Yeah.
I want to bring artists in that I know are absolutely great, absolutely good.
Yeah.
And nobody knows them. But by the time they leave here, you know them. You got a different respect for them. And you gain a whole new following for the artists.
You will.
You gain a whole new following.
It's important. We were actually just talking about that the other day about an artist who reached out, wanted to come and do a concert. And my suggestion to that artist was you need to partner with the artist in the local area as well. So that they can come in and be a part of it, because they don't know you. They don't know you. So you gotta partner with these local artists and let them come in and be a part of your show.
Exactly.
So, and unfortunately I haven't heard back from that artist since, but your name.
Well, hopefully we will hear back from,
because I would really love to do it. I would really love to do it with him.
Yeah, that'll be great. It'll actually be great.
We are the family of Ashley Lockhart, ladies and gentlemen, is preparing to lay her to rest after she was brutally murdered by her fiance, Raymond Thompson. He is a man that is well known in the area that they live in, which is West Philadelphia. He is well known by the authorities, and that's who you don't want to know who you are. You don't want them to know you well. But he brutally murdered her, stabbed her to death, and left her 6 children motherless and fatherless. From my understanding, I know definitely motherless. I don't know if he is the father of all.
So let me give more information, because I've been researching and following this incident a lot, and he is the father.
Of all 6.
children. I don't know if it's all 6, but they did say he is the father, according to the police record, because he is presently in jail, and he did stab her 18 times,
Mm-hmm.
and he left her in a car,
Yep. I
in a
know.
vehicle.
Yep.
And she is a
He
young
stabbed her
woman
in the car
in the car, and that was 18
18
times, 18
times.
times. Young
That's
woman,
brutal.
I believe she was either 29 or 30, and she
I
has,
think she was 26, but
okay, I knew
there's a lot
something
of
like
there's
that.
she's very young to
Very
me.
young, and she
26.
has 6 beautiful little girls that ranges. The oldest is 10.
And the youngest is 5 months.
Yeah. Oldest is 10, youngest is 5 months. So now those beautiful little kids and little princesses will be without their mother,
All
and
girls, ladies and gentlemen.
without their
All
father,
girls. Yep.
because he will be in prison.
Yep.
So
It's
we
tragic
want
all
to
the way
keep those
around.
children in prayer, y'all. I mean, this is going to be something that at least the older ones, they'll never forget this. The 5-month-old, she probably won't remember any of that,
There's no way. There's no way.
but it's gonna be something that these kids gonna have to live through, not having a mother, not
I
having their mother.
I pray that not only do they get the love and attention that they need,
Yeah.
but they also are surrounded by a village of people and family
Yeah.
who will help to rear them and keep them safe. Because to separate them and to not care for them completely and to protect them, they're girls.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the videos. By all accounts, everything that I watch about her is those young girls say their daily affirmations. The ones that
Yes.
can't communicate,
Yeah.
and she seemed to be a great mother. And I know people talk about people great when they pass off, but there's evidence
I
of
was gonna say,
her
according
motherhood.
to their social media, she was a great mother, and she
Mhm.
loved her daughters, and she kept them so beautiful.
She
Like,
did.
all the pictures, kept their hair very tidy,
Yep.
cute little barrettes, nice matching outfits, or just they were just beautiful little girls, absolutely beautiful. So
Yeah, and it is for someone to go to. Here's the thing that I have to point out to. She had an active PFO on this guy,
she did, she
but they
did.
were still living together.
Yes.
And one of my cousins last night was like, I don't know. She was like, love will make you do a lot of
A
strange
lot
things.
of
I said,
crazy
yeah,
things. Yeah.
love will make you do some strange things, but fear and Stockholm syndrome can also
Mm.
um,
Absolutely.
it could make you, do some great.
Absolutely.
Because for someone to stabbing is not
Ooh,
like shooting.
no.
Um,
Mm-mm.
it's like passion, like deep seated.
It's rage.
It's rage.
It's
It
rage.
is absolute
Yeah,
rage.
it
That's
is
like
rage.
taking somebody and beating them to
Yeah,
death with a
that's
bat in the head.
right. That's rage.
It's
Yeah,
rage.
it's rage.
And like, if you do and just to look at him, every time I look at his photograph, something wells up in me like, what kind of man?
Yeah.
If you don't want to be with somebody that bad, take off and leave.
Leave.
Don't
Just leave.
leave.
Just leave.
You got to
Just
beat the
leave.
woman up, and then you got to
Right.
stab
Murder
her
her.
18 times. That's
Yeah,
vicious.
that is.
Vicious.
That's absolutely horrible.
And now we have these young babies who are left without their mother, and it's sad, unbelievable, and just terrible.
Yeah.
It's sad, unbelievable, and terrible. And it's demonic. It's a demon. It's a demon. For if anybody would go at somebody like that, it's a demon. And yes, it was in West Philly, and I know that West Philly is a you got to be strong to grow up in West Philly in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And this young lady was doing an absolutely amazing job with her daughters. And here we are. You know, my prayer is to keep them definitely
Keep them lifted. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, while we're on this subject, you know, any young woman or older woman, any woman, and maybe you could be a male, if you're listening to us, there are warning signs. Don't ignore the warning signs of abuse. Don't ignore it. So many times we see situations and stories like this. We had one in this area not too long ago, where a man chopped off the lady's arm
her arm. Mm-hmm.
and then brutally shot her, I believe, in the back.
In front of the police.
In front of the police. In front of the police. So there are warning signs. Love yourself and love your kids enough to get free from them situations. If you have children, love yourself enough to be free, and look at those babies. If you have children, and love them enough to want to live for them, to want to be there for them, to want to continue to raise them.
You know, I think people make the mistake, women a lot more so than men, make the mistake in thinking he ain't gonna do that.
Right.
He not gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
He gonna beat me, but he not gonna kill me.
Yeah.
I remember having a conversation with my father, and my father said something to me that I always remember. He said, Marcus, you don't know what another person is thinking.
That's right. And then you never know what can take that person over their limit,
right,
where they snap. I know a lot of people have heard of the show called Snap. A lot of those situations, they wasn't premeditated. It was somebody literally blanked out and lost their mind a quick moment and snapped. You never know what's the breaking point for someone else. You never know.
If you have family and you understand, and sometimes it's very difficult when you are a family member that is trying to get involved to help a person out of a domestic situation. One of the things that I found out, and even through family members that are in law enforcement, is that they hate going to domestic violence calls. And you can
one of the most dangerous calls.
It's one of the most
the most dangerous, because you never know what you're gonna get. And I know that because I was a dispatcher for 14 years.
Right.
And being the person to receive that call and have to send officers out to those calls, it's something. It's something, guys.
They can get there. The lady calls the police, but then when they get there and the police start arresting the man, the lady gets mad.
Yes.
She attacks the
I've
police.
seen it so many times where the woman would call and then they'll rush down to the state attorney's office and take the little class that they have to take to drop the charges.
Yes.
I mean, all of these things happen.
Yes.
And it's like, and then they go right back.
They go
and
right back.
And the situation don't get better.
No.
It gets worse. It gets worse. And then the abuse will start going towards the children.
Yes. Yes.
This is real. This is so real.
It's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
And if you know this, you know, you can't be sympathetic and say, okay, he's gonna change, because he's telling you, oh, I ain't gonna do it no more. I ain't gonna do it no more. How many times have you heard that? Like, get out, get a family member who will actually, but first you, mom, you woman, sister, queen, you have to understand that if he beating your tail like he beating you, and you still ended up with 6 kids from the same person, or no matter how many it is, but he beating the stew out of you. You are in a dangerous situation, and
your kids are in a dangerous situation.
Your children are watching this man beat you to death.
Yeah. And I'm reminded of a 911 call I received years ago, where this incident took place in the city of Maitland and on I-4. Where a male took all of his children and brutally killed his kids. He took some of them out to the Maitland Lake and he slit their throats.
Oh, wow.
He took the other kids in his SUV and on purpose on I-4 drove his SUV into a freight truck,
18-wheeler. I remember
18
that.
wheeler.
I remember.
And I was one of many calls that came into our 911 center, and I answered. And only one of those 5 kids survived.
Yes.
One. I'll never forget that.
I remember.
That is a day that was seared into my memory. I literally cried behind that case. It was horrible. I never heard of or seen anything like that. And so
You
I don't think
know,
bad guys.
it's sad. It's sad because I remember this is a guy that I went to school with.
We got 1 minute.
His wife was trying to leave him, and he went to her job. She worked at a hospital, and he shot her like 7 times in the parking lot. As she
I
was
remember that too.
And we went to school
I do.
together. We didn't grow up together, but we did kind of grow up together. And so you never know what people are thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, you gotta stay safe. If it's a situation like that, get the help that you need for yourself.
Listen, there are safe
for your
homes.
children.
There are safe homes. They have a harbor house for women and children. They have so many places. You can just Google it. So many places where you can get assistance and get help. Get the help you need.
In the city of Orlando and surrounding areas in Central Florida, just dial 211.
That part right there. Listen, this is Culture for Christ, man. We thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you continue to join us every Monday and Tuesday with myself and
Mr. Marcus,
the famous one. All right, y'all. See y'all later.
Peace.